Well, that's why I'm out here saving lives, because, and I have, some you can save and some you can't save. You know, some of it is going further than others. Either gonna wind up in prison, and this is the message I give them, either gonna wind up in prison or dead. This gang life is not what some of these kids expect it to be. This lifestyle is dangerous. It's dangerous. So God put me here to save lives, and that's what I'm here for, pushing my peace.
Community intervention workers, they're most of the time former gang members, people formerly incarcerated, folks that have lived experience that are able to come back into their communities and reach those who are currently involved in the cycle of violence. You know, those that are active in gangs or groups, and provide alternatives to violence.
This is a picture of my brother. He was murdered. He was murdered in 2014 by someone he knew, and it really broke my heart on that. So they asked me a question. They say, "Mag, how could you still do this work knowing that someone in your own community took two of your brother's life?" And I always tell them, you know, God gave me this calling. It's not what I still know that it needs to be someone in the community to help stop this from happening. Even though my brother was murdered by someone in the community, why would I stop helping my community? Because I know that's my calling. Yes, I put these photos is here. It gives me strength. It keeps me moving, especially this one, because this is my child. He's in prison for 31 years. This one gives me strength, because he knew when he left here that this is what I was doing. He know that I'm in here. He will want me to continue on doing this work. So all these pictures right here is a symbol of my strength.
My name is Melendez.
My name is Dorian Amigon.
My name is Maggielean Hearod.
My name is Deron, Wofford, community intervention worker.
And I am a participant.
And I am a participant.
And I am a participant
at the Urban Peace Academy.
All right, everybody. All right, let's bring it in. So, how many of you have clients or participants that are active in gangs that you provide services for?
My past is a place that I don't like to revisit. I was a problem.
Starting at a young age, 12, 13, I became a part of a gang.
I grew up in a very violent neighborhood, and to me that was normal.
I had an older cousin. He went to jail early for a homicide. I had another cousin went to jail for bank robbery. I'm already full-fledged in the streets, trying to make my name and following my older cousins, so I ended up going to prison.
There was a lot of violence around me. I witnessed a lot of young close friends being murdered, and it was almost just a part of my life. I never questioned it. It never seemed strange to me.
Yes, I was so reckless in my community that my mom put out life insurance on me. She just felt something was gonna happen to me. The lifestyle that I was living.
Being in a gang for the amount of time that I was in a gang, I call myself a gang expert. I think I'm a drug expert. I'm a ghetto expert. I'm a community expert. I'm the expert of where I come from.
If you look at me, you wouldn't believe me when I say, I have stabbed somebody. Right? And I only say this because I caught a case. So it's no secret.
A lot of people talk about atonement, atoning for the things that they've done in the past, that getting involved in the gang intervention field gives them the opportunity to give back to communities they might have created havoc in or have destroyed in many ways.
That moment, I was in the shoe, in the feds, staring at the wall. And I had to be honest with myself. It was the drugs, the alcohol, just sitting in the shoe, thinking about all that. I need to change.
Once I went back to prison again, I got out and I said something got to change.
The community doesn't owe anyone forgiveness, but you have to give people the opportunity to try. You have to give people the opportunity to come back and atone for some of the things that they may have done in the past.
So traditionally, we all know gangs are, were dominated by males, guys. But along with male gangs in the hood, in the community, what always goes with them? Homegirls, right? There's always that, right? There's always the homegirls. Whatever capacity or whatever role they play, there's always homegirls associated with the community.
In 2010, we had the opportunity to build out the LA Violence Intervention Training Academy for Urban Peace Institute. It's called the Urban Peace Academy, which is a first of its kind platform to train former gang members, people who are formerly incarcerated, to become peacemakers.
So when we're talking first about the role of women in gangs and what services we can provide for them, we don't want to just talk about what they've done, what they're going through, but also how can we fill the gap and provide very specific services for them.
In 1970, 10% of gang members were females. And then we go to about 10 years later, and that number shoots up to 23%. Why do you think from the 90s to the 2000s, that number just shot up to 23%? There's another factor there. The men were getting sentenced to enormous amounts of time. The roles change. And then the women become, more active in the neighborhood because the guys are gone. So this is why we see there's a big fluctuation in numbers.
I am a co-founder of Advocate of Peace and Urban Unity, APUU. I'm a CIW working with Southeast 1. I work and I live in the community that I serve. I grew up in the community that I serve. I was once part of the problem in the community, and I came to change my life for better. So this is the community, you guys, that I grew up in at the age of 16. At the age of 16, I was shot twice. At the age of 21, I was stabbed. I chose it. I chose it because my whole family was in a gang. It was called inheritance. This is the corner that I got shot at. Shot. I got shot in my head and I got shot in my back. Is this corner. I was walking from a party. As soon as I hit right here, you know what, I don't regret, because if I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't know what I know now. So I went through it for a reason, because now I'm keeping somebody from doing what I did.
Did Luis message you back? I am a first-generation Mexican-American, daughter of immigrants. My parents worked very hard shifts, almost 12 hours a day, so they were rarely able to be there for us.
This is a good space. It's big.
Yeah, we always think it's smaller because it gets so full, and then it's like... Unfortunately, I had an alcoholic father and a very violent father that pushed me away from home. So the streets were kind of my safe haven. But we have like a little storage unit over here where we have like donations, we help with diaper distribution. Yeah, we're able to help our clients with like their families. So it just became a whole chain that led me to drug addiction. This is the Central City neighborhood. And it led me to hurting people, hurting myself, hurting my loved ones, hurting those around me, hurting my community. And I guess all of that came to a dramatic stop when I became pregnant at the age of 19. So this is where I do most of like my paperwork and access my incident response and my emails whenever I need to connect with anybody. So for the most part, yeah, for the most part, we're out in the field. And yeah, it's my little baby, my son. I have a beautiful 7-year-old boy. Was when I changed my life completely around, because that's just impossible, given that I was still living in my neighborhood. But I ultimately decided to get up and go and leave that lifestyle behind.
Are you gonna go? Did you go to school? You're going to go to school. You want to go to school?
I want to go.
That's a good motivation.
Yeah,
Look
for
at that all
sure.
the time. You can do it. You're gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
start with one class. Go slow.
Yeah.
Fit it into your schedule. You can do it.
My community's been through a lot in my lifetime, from 2 riots to just a race war. Like, our neighbors don't even come outside no more because it's too much. Too old to be running in the house. So yeah, we deserve peace over there.
And I love my community. That's the best part about my community. I love my community, and I'm gonna always be there for my community.
Everybody deserves a peace. Everybody should be able to take their kids to school without having to worry about them getting shot.
When I was young, growing up in the community, there was really nobody around offering services like this. I don't remember anybody ever rummaging the streets or doing outreach as far as trying to connect with our people that we grew up around.
In my community, we don't even have a park or a recreation center. They ain't got nowhere to go play baseball. They don't got nowhere to do nothing. And then the areas that you got to go out of to the next community, they don't feel comfortable. They stuck in a little bubble.
We have lack of resources because it's nowhere to go but to the streets, especially when you're in a dysfunctional home. And some of them don't have nobody to listen to them.
I guess as I think back on this and I realize what I grew up with or how it affected me, I realize all that made me angry. And how maybe my friends growing up were just as angry as me. And that led them to violence, and that led them to being killers. As hard as that is to say.
They take gangbanging as cops and robbers. All these shootouts, it's fun until you're on the other side of the table. And that's all we're trying to get them to understand. Like, stop all that. Like, just stop it. And they don't understand it. They don't understand.
They really don't know the consequences. They don't know what's waiting for them over there. I do know the consequences.
I think restoration is needed in our communities.
We want this change. I want the change. I know a lot of community members want the change. They want to be safe out there. They want to have their kids safe out there. My community and every other community deserves peace.
If I had a wish list, I would build a youth center in my community. I would offer more youth summer jobs, because if you can change their heart and their mind while they're young still, the chances of them taking that other turn when they get a little older is out of the question. But you gotta stop them before it starts. And keeping them entertained, like the sports, like most kids, I don't care what kid it is. If they the toughest kid sitting there with an attitude and won't say nothing, you bring up LeBron James, Kobe, anybody like that, they're gonna talk to you. And now you open up the door for a conversation. And that's what resources, it gives you that stuff. Like, you like sports? Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna start a 3-on-3 tournament, man. You get you 3 dudes, y'all pick and design your own jerseys, I'm gonna get those made. So now they like, ooh, got some motivation now. You know, you kind of reward them slowly for doing good. And then, you know, like the incentive program, the motivation, like, you gotta keep them motivated too, man. I can't promise them peace, but I can work one day at a time to restore peace in my area.
All right, Claudia.
I went in there with an open mind. I did. But in the beginning, I just straight up, I hate school. I was never good at school.
The curriculum that was built at the academy was built by practitioners, a lot of them veteran practitioners who have been doing community intervention work for years on the streets of LA. The curriculum is reflective of the realities on the streets, street dynamics. 80% of it is taught by street-level practitioners and the other 20% by other professionals, such as academics, people in social work, etc.
You know, I know I'm from the streets, I know the streets, I know my language, I know how to talk to these people, I know what to say, so I don't even need this class. What could they tell me?
I got into trouble at the age of 15, ended up shooting somebody, went to juvenile hall, got CYA joint suspended, sentenced, and was allowed to go live with my uncle in Oak Park. That didn't turn out well, unfortunately. Years later, I ended up shooting somebody else, and I landed in New Folsom. I was able to turn my life around, and now I'm able to help other shooters and potential shooters in the work that I do.
Yeah, I went in there with the lean back, they can't teach me nothing, like that arrogant attitude, and then they drop your mouth like, whoa, I didn't know that. And then you go the next time and it's like, I didn't know that either. Write that down real fast. Like, everybody got that, been here, done that, seen this, seen that attitude, until you come and sit in there and you hear somebody's story and you can't control your emotions because you thought you was out here running the street, you thought you was the hardest gang member, you thought you done it all, or you thought you knew it all. And then somebody get up here and change your whole way of thinking. Like, I thought I was that guy.
We need this in the hood. You have to be hard in order to survive. So we purposely build these walls on purpose. A wise man told me that you can't plant seeds in barren, hard land and expect for fruits to be produced. You need soft, fertile, cultivated land. It's the same with our hearts. In order for us to be able to receive good, we have to trust, be vulnerable, allow our hearts to be cultivated, and allow someone to plant seeds of good in our hearts. And then you can produce good works from that.
It's the most knowledgeable academy. It was better than college. Like when I went to college, I learned a lot. I learned things that I thought I knew.
I think every CIW need the academy. That's what I do know. I don't care how much they think they know.
I try to floss doing good the same way I floss being bad. Say that. You feel me? I don't hide when my nephews get at me and they be like, man, OG this and OG. The goal is to get my age. I'm 50. The goal is to get my age, bro. You only 19, you only 20. The goal is to live to be this old, bro, and still be able to shine.
Ultimately, I think for us, we got to start getting younger in this work. That's why when I see the young brother here doing the work, it's a beautiful thing, because if we aren't intentionally getting younger and bringing the people who directly speak the language of the young brothers and sisters out in the streets, then at some point we're going to feel irrelevant to the population that we serve. And so I think by getting younger, it helps us in the long run.
I learned a lot. I learned professionalism. That was the main one. I said, "Ooh, was I professional with this? I don't know. Was I really professional? I thought I was professional. I really did thought I was professional, but I wasn't."
In our transition out of that culture we came out of, and we go into the professional culture, is we can easily slip up and forget, that I'm now in the working environment, so I got to conduct myself in a different manner.
I think anybody can say I'm an interventionist and do things their way, but when you say you're a professional interventionist, is because you have gone through some training and you've been able to sharpen your skills, been able to add more tools in your toolbox. Now you're able to say, what I thought I was doing was right. Now I say, I know what I'm doing is the right way.
My favorite thing as well that I learned from the academy is everybody else's stories. How everybody else in these communities are so similar to one another. My classmates definitely taught me a lot. And I think we all learned that this is gonna be a long journey. That this has already been a long journey.
I started at a young age in my neighborhood, and that was the love of my life. My neighborhood was the love of my life. Like, I put my family to the side, I put my ex-wife to the side, and I lost my marriage because of my neighborhood. Like, she will cry, she will beg me at night not to leave, and I will always leave, and like you were saying, it's not just because I looked at somebody's eyes that it made me change. It's just a pile of things. For me, the change was hard. To share my story, to hear other people's story, it gives you that power to, like, you're helping me with your story. Because we've been through the same thing. If I know you understand me, I know it's not easy for me.
I learned something every time, every time. I didn't even know about self-care or none of that, like self-care.
A lot of them will talk about trauma or being triggered or recurring trauma because of their past. And they're put in a situation where they're gonna face highly traumatic events that can re-traumatize them. So worker well-being is really an important piece that we've been talking about, self-care.
I learned that that's what we have to do. That's, because I never did really like self-care. But when I got to the academy, they was explaining more about self-care because it's with our mental health too. We have to get our mind right because of all this that we're seeing.
You can't care for nobody else if you don't care about you.
That's something that that right now I'm currently struggling with. I bring the work to the house.
I've been horrible at setting boundaries. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Almost lost my marriage because I didn't know how to set boundaries in this work because I'm always working, and my wife is like, look, you either gonna do your work or you gonna pick your family. And I said, well, I gotta pick both because this is my mission. So, my recommendation is spend quality time with your family. Make sure you're spending enough time with your kids. I think it's extremely important. We working with other people's kids all the time. But are we spending enough quality time with our own kids? Because if we're not, they may end up being our participants. The one thing I do know is we can't pour from an empty cup. If we've depleted all of our energy and we're low, how can we help somebody else if we're not helping ourselves?
Self-care, very important. It affects you. I've gone out with my coworkers to let the mother know, to let the family know that their son has passed away. And to see the mom break down, that breaks you. It breaks you to see that pain. So you need that self-care, because if you break down, you have a flat tire, there's gonna be a problem out in the street. Can get you killed, you know? So you gotta take care of yourself.
I believe I had PTSD, but I just never was diagnosed. From hearing gunshots, from hearing sirens, from hearing screams, from witnessing murder in front of your eyes at a very young age. So they taught us tools, they gave us the tools to deal with our traumatic events.
Apparently, there's people that like yoga, you know, and I could say I like stretching.
One day, the academy, they set up a day for us to meet at the park, at Ted Watkins Park, you know, so we went up there and we did yoga.
I remember before I transformed my mind and my way of thinking that I had no hope. I taught yoga in prison as an inmate. That's why I keep that same mindset. If I can do yoga in prison, I can do yoga anywhere. My name is eBay Williams. I work with Helper Foundation as a CIW, and I'm also a trainer at the Academy of Urban Peace. It was a lot of people first time doing yoga, so they didn't know what they was getting themselves into, but I can see that they was challenging themselves, and that's what yoga is about, challenging yourself and basically seeing what level you can go to. You bend that front leg, Yep, bend that front leg. And what that does is, that's strengthening the legs, but you also strengthening your spinal cord. You straighten it, keep your spinal cord straight. Yoga is an important tool for intervention because it helps those deal with trauma. Also help you release stress, at the same time it build character. A lot of people just think that when you're doing yoga, you're just standing there, but no, you're really building muscle and you're working on yourself. I come from a family that was gang and induced. Gangs and violence was kind of like in my household, and you know, I watched a lot of people come and go, prison, death, and you know, I actually went through the lifestyle myself and ended up in prison, missed all my 20s damn near, and I was like, I'm never coming here again. And right then and there was my conscious decision that I made to myself that I didn't want to never come back to prison again.
Rock the spinal cord out.
Urban Peace Institute taught me a lot about dealing with my own trauma, looking inwards, and then getting rid of it. So I try to teach the whole community the same way. To me, yoga is a tool to help me get back focused, center, and go out there and be able to do my work, because if I'm no good, I can't help my community. So I gotta make sure that I'm straight, that way I can help my community and help them become straight.
On the inhale, come back up, bring your leg back up. Just lay it straight back down. Take a break, let's take a rest here. Take a rest here.
And then once we started meditating and relaxing, they was like, hold up now. All the tension just like leaves the body, so I'm hoping that the group continues to do yoga. You're just relaxing. Every breath, you're kicking out negative energy, you're breathing in love.
I couldn't make it to the yoga session because I had a crisis. My client got shot. I had a car wash fundraiser for another homie that passed away because he OD'd fentanyl. Before I left. It's alright. Lucky's a big boy. I think that's what saying, big boy.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Even though we may be granted by different funding sources, state, city, federal, it really doesn't matter. We are still just Hub. All we're doing is performing the program services according to the grants that we have. So we're gonna keep getting diversified. We're gonna keep getting different funding sources, but our core is to do that intervention, that reentry, and it's overall second chances for everyone.
So Will started working with me for like the past, he's going on 3 years now. When initially he came on board, he was a participant of ours.
When I came out of prison, I actually needed help, so I came to the organization where I'm working now and asked for help.
And then from there, he took a liking to the work that we were doing. he started asking if he can volunteer in our program. But all along, I seen that he had a lot of potential in him. And I was like, okay, this is a guy that I know that I can work with him and I can develop him professionally, and I know he's gonna do well in this field. So I spoke to him and I told him, hey, well, would you be interested in a CIW position? He said, yes. It goes like, but my only concern is like my background. I was like, oh, you don't have to worry about that here. You know what I mean? Your background, your story, that's what makes us, you know what I mean? This is what makes us the work. And then he had a lot of, a strong license to operate in the community that we service. So that was a complete plus.
Well, LTO is your license to operate. Is you being able to be out in the neighborhood.
Your LTO allows you to make them listen, basically.
Have you been shot? I have. I've been to state prison. I've been to federal prison. People knowing my background, they're more receptive. Like, you're one of me. So I know what you're talking about. And if you could change, that's hope for me.
You know, who's best to be able to provide the services over to our community members that have the same background. If their stories are not relatable, the stories have to be relatable, so in order to be effective. So most of our staff, most of our team, they're all system impacted. They're all able to be relatable with the community. And who's best to be able to provide that service than our own communities. Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of change in Will. Will takes initiative now. He calls the clients, he follows through with the clients. He's another one building more community members up into and building them to become leaders just as him, like him.
I'm always there calling them, texting them, like, what's up, what can I do for you? I bug them, I call them, and they're grateful for that, because I'm that one that's pushing them, because not everybody cares, and if nobody else does it, then there ain't gonna be no change in my community. And I love it. I love the work. It doesn't scare me. There's a lot of tension right now in this area with two neighborhoods. Try to control the streets. So we're gonna pass out some PPE to the people out here, to the ladies that are mending, see how they're doing. Hola, ¿cómo está? Las máscaras, ¿quiere hand sanitizer también? Sí. Solo están grabando el trabajo que hacemos. Sí.
During the height of the pandemic, we had intervention workers who were actually doing double duty, from continuing to be violence interrupters, but also virus interrupters, by filling some of the public health gaps by getting PPE out to people, by talking to people about vaccinations and educating them on how to reduce the spread. Now on the violence side, they're doing the same thing, but trying to reduce the spread of violence.
I'm super excited about graduation. I feel like I worked hard. I dedicated myself to this. Yeah, it's a big deal to me.
I am very excited for the graduation. I haven't walked the stage since I was in elementary.
Good morning. Welcome to the graduation ceremony for the 2022 class of La Vida. Let's honor those intervention workers that have passed in the last couple of years with another moment of silence, if you will, please.
The police may solve who did the last shooting, but intervention's job is to stop the next shooting.
If a person does not know the wounds of their own soul, they can deny not just their own pain, but also be unmoved by the suffering of others. But when you go deep and you learn what motivates you, what pushes you, why you do this, and you confront it, you become more and more effective. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you, congratulations, enjoy.
It is so important now more than ever that you continue to invest in our communities and to allow the people that know the streets the best to do the work. Thank you, Urban Peace Institute, for that. Police can't do it alone. We've tried that and it didn't work. One of the first phone calls that my team makes when there's violence in a community is to our prevention partners in the community. So thank you for what you're getting ready to embark on. Some of you have already been out there in the field, in the streets, doing the work. Today you get a certificate to go alongside of it. You should be proud. You should understand the power that you hold in a community. And there are people that are going to lean on you. Congratulations to the class of 2022.
I passed high school, but I didn't get to participate in the ceremony, to walk the stage and hand me the certificate. I get to redeem myself a little bit. I get to make that up and get that feeling again. So it's going to remind me of high school. This is my high school graduation all over, and for me and for my mom. Having my mom and my family there cheering me on, and then my mom is still living, and her being able to come down and see me walk the stage. Yeah, I owe her that, and I'm proud of myself to be able to do that.
Dorian, Amigon. Maggielean Hearod. Wilfredo Melendez. Frank Miles. Deron Wofford. All right, will all the graduates please stand and face the audience? Can we have the graduates join us on stage to take the
My success story, being able to graduate from the academy is a success story.
Yeah, it's bittersweet that it's over now, but I'm excited for what I aim to do from now on. And I'm excited to see everybody else on the field as well. So we're gonna hang it over there on that side where the food is gonna be. So it's gonna look really cool.
On this top right here?
Ahí arriba. Yeah, I guess it's all hitting me right now that I'm seeing the students come, and I know this is like kind of our goodbye with celebration with them as well. So now I get to enjoy and celebrate a little bit better because like I didn't know what was gonna happen until this morning. We had a meeting today with the director for Volunteers of America. We got to meet him, and you know, Donnie was able to talk to me, and he confirmed to me today that I was, you know, given the position of lead for the new opioid drug abuse program that's getting established.
Oh my God, that's so good. I'm so happy. I knew you were gonna have it. I knew you would get good things. I told you.
I'm so I'm beyond like belief right now. I'm so ready. I am beyond excited for this new job opportunity that I have, and I'm honestly so grateful. I didn't even expect this. I was hoping to get a position in the program, but I never expected to be position of lead. Everything, my mind is already going through like all the things that I want to do with it, and people that I'm going to be able to connect with, and yeah, I'm just lost for words. Thanks to the Academy, I feel like I'm definitely in a better position to succeed and continue to succeed and thrive in everything that I do. I think it's a little piece of me that's always going to be there.
I've sold everything you can sell under the sun, and I'm still not rich. But having a career in this field right here has produced more than I've ever had in my whole life. When it's my time to leave this world, I don't just want to be remembered as just a regular guy. I want them to say he actually came and he made a change in his community. Yeah, building the youth center is my goal, and I am going to get it done. And that's my promise to my community.
My favorite part about this job are the success stories.
Well, after the academy, now I feel confident about my work. You know, now I know that, man, what I've been doing is right. Now I feel like I'm able to defend myself. If somebody was to come and try to steer me wrong, I'd be like, I ain't tripping. I know what I'm doing. I know what I learned.
I'm extremely proud of where I come from. I come from the broken homes, the single mom, the surviving shootings, and just to be where I am today, like, I'm extremely proud. Like, I just be want to remembered as a lifesaver.
I am happy to say that my family is very proud of me for what I'm doing now. And I know they've seen it firsthand from what I've come from.
This is something that before my mom passed away, I needed her to see this change in me. They very proud of the change, because at first they thought that this girl gonna be in jail all her life, something gonna happen to her, she gonna get killed. But see, I surprised all of them. And so now they look at me like I'm the backbone of the family now. Oh, we gotta go ask Maggie, she can do this. So I'm like the backbone of the family, I'm the changer.
My dad, before he passed away, was really happy. I'm proud. I'm surprised of myself. I love the work that I do now.
It's good to just know that I'm not the only one trying to save a life. If I'm trying to save a life, and you trying to save a life, and he trying to save a life, and he trying to save a life, and we all from different areas, it should be some life saved.
It felt good. It felt so good that I can't stop, won't stop.
now I got a career. That feeling is like, kind of made it a little bit. Like, you know, it's amazing, man.
Oh, how you've changed. My name is Will Melendez, and I am a graduate. Graduate?
Smile. Hey.
My name is Deron Wofford.
My name is Will Melendez.
My name is Maggielean Hearod.
My name is Dorian Amigon.
And I am a
graduate.
Graduate from the Urban Peace Academy.
I tell them in a minute, I push peace. I push peace. And they be like, so now when they see me, when everybody see me, they say, that's Mag, she push peace. Okay, cut.